It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening? What's happening, guys? Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, January 21st, 2020, and we're on day 2 of reviewing the Gold Digger Retreat 2020. And we're going to go through this morning 4 tactical steps to reprogramming your blueprint. This was a big step, I think, for a lot of people at the retreat. Just a small piece of a large presentation that I did personally on reviewing your blueprint, and then also, taking the tactical steps of how we can, go about reprogramming that blueprint. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. I think it was helpful to the people who are there. Good morning, Dayton, Sam, Judd, Mark. What's happening, my brother from Pittsburgh? What's going on, man? I'm just sharing this out to my public page here real quick, and then we're going to jump right into the content. But I appreciate you guys jumping on with me this morning here, and start your morning here on Morning Perspective again. So as you guys will see, and I want to give a shout out here to Gem Seal Pavement Products was our sponsor for Gold Digger Retreat 2020. So I want to give a shout out to Gem Seal. And specifically Lee Lois, the president of Gem Seal. What an incredible guy Lee Lois is, and Gem Seal is fortunate to have that guy at the helm of their organization. Just, man, the conversations that I had with that gentleman in Anguilla were just absolutely life-changing. And, it's incredible when you get to get around people like that. And you're able to pull some of their energy, some of their confidence, some of their vision for the future of both, your own business and the industry that you work in as well. So a huge shout out and thank you to Lee Lois for everything that those guys did for us to be able to make Gold Digger 2020 a success. So let's talk about blueprint for a second here. I want to get focused on, what is your blueprint, right? And so we talked a lot about this at the retreat about, what it looks like in your own life. What is the blueprint of your own life, and where does that come from? And so we talked a little bit about, the whole idea of your blueprint coming from your personal life, coming from your professional life, and then also coming from what I referred to there as the industry standards. The industry standards are something that, are very difficult sometimes to overcome, especially in an industry like ours, where, those standards are sometimes not exactly how we want to live, right? Those standards become something that holds us back. Those industry standards. Sometimes it's your personal standards or personal blueprint. If you grew up in a situation where there was a lot of negativity or a lot of doubt, not a lot of confidence placed in you, it's very difficult to first and foremost, just recognize that. It's a difficult thing to do. It's a difficult thing to accept, I guess is the right word for that. But then once you accept it, then how do you kind of overcome that, right? How do you reprogram your blueprint? And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit this morning. So I appreciate you sharing it out, Bruce. Good morning. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Darren. What's happening, Tricia? Good morning to my wife, my beautiful wife, who supported both Judd and I through this journey, and Judd's wife, Mindy, supported us through this journey and making this whole retreat possible. So thank you and love you to you both for being just incredible spouses and support systems for both of us. Just incredible, man. We had so many conversations, Judd and I, about just how fortunate we are to have those two ladies in our lives. So thank you, babe, and thank you, Mindy, for everything. So But to dive into this, the tactical ways that we talked about at the retreat of how to reprogram your blueprint, there's 4 of them. So the number 1 is to question and challenge things often. And what I talked about there was, don't allow your company or yourself to just exist on autopilot, right? Encourage questioning why things are done, whether the things that you do or you have been doing are done in a conscious or subconscious state. I think this is what happens a lot of times. We get in this groove of just going day after day after day, and what happens is we just follow that blueprint. And whether or not that blueprint is positive or negative, we are following it because that's what our subconscious state tells us to do. We're on autopilot. And so when we talk about that, questioning and challenging things often, there's a lot of people in this world that aren't okay with being challenged. Be very careful if you find yourself around a lot of those people. Because the reality is that if you're in a healthy business relationship, a healthy personal relationship, a healthy relationship with yourself, you find it okay to be challenged. You find it okay to question things. And if you question and challenge things often, you will slowly but surely find your way out of that subconscious state, more into a conscious state of making decisions where that blueprint is getting reprogrammed, decision by decision. Every time you question something, you're going to get a little bit clearer on exactly why you're doing things the way that you're doing them and if you should continue. For those of you who are on this stream that attended the retreat, I'd like to know, what you guys, if you had any breakthroughs during this session and what those breakthroughs were. So if you guys want to, add your comments in there, just let me know. All right. Let me know what breakthroughs you guys had. So the second one is, and I think the most important, is evaluate and upgrade your circle. And this one is not just the circle you keep in business. It's from your own family to those you text with, to even the things that you follow on social media. All of that stuff matters, guys. And so when you find yourself consuming certain things, just remember that what you consume, you become. So if you're consuming negativity, if you're consuming news channels feeding you stuff on social media, that is the stuff that you will start to think about. And we're going to touch on that a little bit deeper here in the 4th bullet point. But if you are surrounded by and consuming positivity and good energy with innovative people, those thoughts will constantly be vibrating through you. If you are doing the opposite, if you're consumed by negative thoughts, by doubters, by haters, by all of these things that you allow into your life and you allow into your thoughts, then that is what you're going to have in your life. Whatever you think about is what you become. And so making sure that you are constantly evaluating and upgrading that circle of people that surround you, that entire circle of information that surrounds you, is super, super important. So evaluate and upgrade your circle on a regular, everyday basis. The third bullet point, and I think the most powerful for anybody, and whether you find yourself kind of in that negative way of thinking or you are, pretty regularly in a positive state of mind with positive things going on around you, take quiet and alone time every single day. And so what we talked about was 30 minutes, right? Just 30 minutes every single day of quiet and alone time. And I would tell you guys this, it's very challenging to get this in today's world, right? But what you need to do, if you have to wake up early, if you have to stay up late, whatever you have to do to be able to make this possible. In our house, we got 4 children, so it's very difficult to get 30 minutes of quiet time. By the time you wake up, everybody else is, waking up. So, I wake up a lot earlier than the rest of my family so that I can get that time to just kind of think through things and process everything and really get some quiet time that allows me to think a lot clearer. It allows me to constantly be reprogramming and reevaluating the blueprint that I live by. The power of quiet time in your life is something that many of us overlook. We are constantly connected, constantly getting pinged by devices, technology, apps, our children, our spouses, employees, etc. If you don't take quiet time in your life once a day, your mind will always and constantly be scrambled. It'll just remain scrambled all the time, guys. So making sure that you have that quiet time every single day is a huge thing in being able to, first and foremost, identify your blueprint. Why are you thinking the things that you're thinking? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? And it will allow you to take everything in your life to the next level. So, and last but not least, number 4, whose thinking are you thinking? Always remember that every single thought that you have going through your brain, it has come from somewhere. It's been placed there by something. Who put it there? You, a book, your parents, the person that trained you in your job, if it's professional related. Maybe your first boss put it there, put that belief there, that thought there. Ask yourself this question often, guys, and you will see incredible results in your business and in your life by understanding where it all comes from. Once you understand where it all comes from, guys, that blueprint becomes very easy to understand and to maneuver, to change, to alter, to benefit you. That is what we're talking about here, guys. It's about reprogramming your blueprint to benefit you, to benefit the people around you. And so many times, we talked about a variety of things during this part of this presentation. But the biggest thing is identifying your personal blueprint, your professional blueprint, and then the blueprint that exists in whatever industry you are functioning in. What is that blueprint? Are there expectations or just things that other people think are the way things should be that are maybe holding you back, that are maybe holding your company back, that are holding back the way that you think, the way that you operate? Because other people would challenge that if you tried to change it. And so I want you guys to think about that. An example of that in your personal life would be, is there a standard in your family? Is there a standard in the people that you are around that they think about other people a certain way? They think about success a certain way. They think about, you not going to the bar a certain way, right? If you just told your friends that you weren't going to do that anymore, would it be accepted or would it be questioned? And how would that be handled? The professional blueprint a lot of times comes from, that idea that things should be done a certain way because your first boss told you that. You've always done it that way since the beginning of your career. You've always done certain things a certain way because that's how it was taught to you in the very beginning. And that's what you took as truth back then. But is it still truth today? And so as you get that quiet time, as you get into this frame of reference where you can start to question these things as to why you do the things that you do and why you do them the way that you do them, you'll start to unwire that blueprint and figure out everything. And then last but not least, again, we touched on this, but the industry blueprint. In our industry, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of thought process of the way that things should be a certain way because this is the way that they've always been done. And so that's a difficult thing because, when you try to change things, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people have something to say about that. And it can be really challenging for people to overcome what I call that industry blueprint. But when you do, and when you see things that work a little bit different way, and you don't concern yourself all the time with what everybody else has to say, I think you guys will find yourself living more fulfilled and living just a happier life, right? Living more on your terms, on your own blueprint, instead of, somebody else's blueprint that's just been kind of injected into your life. And so, Samantha, the only thing that is constant is change. We talked about that a little bit too. It's like, if things are really going well for you, be prepared, because at some point that will change. If things are not going so well for you, rest assured, have hope, because that too will change, right? Everything, the only constant in our lives is change. And it's about us constantly reevaluating all of these things that we're talking about today. So really getting clear in your mind about what that blueprint looks like and how you can make an impact on it, how you can change it, how you can change not just your own, but the blueprint of those people around you. And the reality of it is, guys, is that as you do this, as you commit to this process of constantly reevaluating, whose thinking are you thinking? Where does your thoughts come from? You will start to impact the lives of those people around you like you could not imagine. And that's what this is all about. As I was writing in my planner this morning, I wrote down, I have a section that's called Quote of the Day. And the quote of the day that I wrote down for today is this: life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Martin Luther King Jr. What are you doing for others? Are you questioning your own blueprint in an effort to improve everything about your own life so that in turn you can do a better job of pouring into others? That's what this life is about, guys. There's no question about it. There's nothing more fulfilling. The reason that Gold Digger 2020 was such a success is because every single person that was in that group was committed to not just learning themselves, but to lending a hand to others, to sharing their knowledge, whether it was the speakers, the attendees, the people that knew something that the other people didn't know. Every single person at that retreat had the same mentality of lending a hand, of leveling somebody else up, to sharing what they have learned in their life to make somebody else's life better. And that's what this is all about, guys. So with that said, tomorrow morning, you guys don't want to miss this. I'm going to have the man himself, Mr. Judson Burden, on this stream at 7:30 a.m. from Morning Perspective, and we're going to talk Gold Digger 2020. We're going to talk the path to get us there, our own perspectives of how the event impacted us, what we observed, some of the topics, some of just everything Gold Digger 2020 between myself and Judd Burden. So you guys want to tune in tomorrow morning for sure, so that you can hear a little bit about Gold Digger 2020. And maybe you might even hear a little bit about Gold Digger 2021 and what the plans are and what we're talking about and what that timeline looks like for you guys to get involved. So, but good morning, Bruce, Kevin Alford, what's happening, man? Joe, what's happening, brother? Jake Perry, what's going on, man? Carrie Ann, what's happening from Boston? Good morning, guys, and thanks for jumping on. I appreciate you guys being here and starting the morning with me. For those of you who were attendees of Gold Digger 2020, I started a group this morning, Gold Digger Retreat 2020. So if you guys could search for that group and join it, I invited a bunch of you. For some reason, some people's names weren't coming up when I was searching for them in the invite thing. So if you guys could just search that out and join it, and we'll approve you into the group. That's where we're going to continue the relationships that we established at the retreat, and then constantly be pumping some content into there to keep you guys on track and following up with everything until next year. So what's happening, Judd? Good morning, man. There he is. So tomorrow morning, guys, 7:30 a.m., please tune in. Again, Judd and I will be on here. We'll be talking about everything Gold Digger 2020, maybe a little bit about Gold Digger 2021. And that's about it for today, guys. I hope it was helpful. I hope this conversation about the blueprint made you think a little bit If there's anything that I can do for you guys, that I can answer as far as that goes, if you feel like you're struggling with your own blueprint a little bit, let me know. Shoot me a DM. I'm happy to have a conversation with you and try to direct you in the right place to kind of take steps to improving that in your life. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Don't miss it. I'm telling you, you want to be here. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Love you guys.